On a cold morning in 1307, sealed letters were being delivered across France with instructions that they were to be opened. Inside was a very shocking command from a king. Arrest every single Knights Templars immediately. Hundreds of powerful warrior-type monks were dragged from their beds, and it all happened on a date we know well. Yep, today, Friday the 13th. So apparently long before the Knights Templars, Friday had a bit of an unlucky association throughout medieval Europe. Jesus was crucified on a Friday, a Good Friday we now know it as. Some say that Adam and Eve ate that forbidden fruit on a Friday, and some sailors thought that to set sail on a Friday was considered unlucky. Now, if you think about it, there was also an unlucky association with the number 13. One popular explanation was the Last Supper. There were 13 people around the table. Apparently 12 was considered a complete number. 12 months of the year, 12 zodiac signs, 12 apostles. So 13 disrupted that order. So the Knights Templars' arrest on that Friday the 13th in 1307 is real history, but of course superstition over the years I think has increased the story. It's a bit like Chinese whispers, isn't it? You get several people and you whisper one thing, when it gets to the other end it's completely different. However, historians generally say there is little evidence about Friday the 13th back in the day. The connection with this date came a lot later. So, going back to those arrests, King Philip IV of France sent sealed orders that on that morning, with strict instructions, do not open until a specific morning. All open it at the same time and immediately arrest all the members of the Knights Templars. Now, as I said, all the houses were surrounded. They were all dragged out of their beds. They had their property and all their documents confiscated. So they had no warning. So they had little chance or no chance of escape. Now, I have read that King Philip IV of France owed the Templars a vast amount of money with going to war with England. And some people say that removing this Knights Templars order removed all his issues, all his financial issues, and all of his political problems in one fell swoop. And of course, rumours were set about saying how unreligious they were. They were a secret cult. They used to spit on the cross and do secret magical things in their rooms. But of course, it was all made up to make them look like they were the bad guys. Because the Knights Templars were actually a religious order, they were kind of like a religious monk, like combining monastic vows with martial orders. So Pope Clement V was eventually pressured into dissolving that order because it was first, as far as I'm aware, created by the Catholic Church. It was a very interesting tale because obviously the Knights Templars, there's so much legend and lore to them. It's a fascinating read. However, I did read that when the last Grand Master was being executed, he was burned at the stake. He did shout out saying that the king and the Pope would face divine judgment. Now, the Pope died within a month and the King died within a year. So, coincidence? So this is maybe where the stories of the Knights Templars became a bit cursed or a bit prophetic. Personally, I'm not that superstitious. I just see Friday the 13th as another day. I do think there's some hotels, or whether it's all hotels, that don't have a room 13. I don't know if that's true, but whether you personally think today is it's not like, don't go outside, don't cross the road, or whether you think it's a load of tosh. I think this story is an absolutely fascinating one. So, also, when you think of the Knights Templars, I think you think of the Holy Grail. However, that is a discussion for another video that's coming soon. So if you want to be ready for that, subscribe and ring the bell, and you will be notified when all my amazing videos become uploaded. Today is Friday the 13th, and I'm sure there will be another one in this year somewhere. Remember, it's not just superstition. It echoes a real moment in history. And actually, that superstition is still hotly debated today. But we have to remember that sometimes the stories behind our modern fears and our sensibilities began in very real and very human moments of history. So as I mentioned, my next video is going to be about the Templars, but it's going to be about this book here. This is my first foray into Dan Jones, and you're going to have to wait and see what I think about it. So, just remember, history has a way of leaving shadows even on our modern day calendars. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please do come back for more. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video and all my ones coming soon. Take care now. Bye.